saw a woman walking down the hall towards us wearing a sweatshirt that said, "Yes." And he walked up to her and said, "Implants?" And Francis, Gene Jones, my guard, was shot by me accidentally. The reporter was not shot accidentally. And the truth of the matter is, it is you who shot one of your friends. And I know that because I represented him in the lawsuit. Well, you know, Francis is a big believer in Duck Dynasty, watches it all the time. Francis is an avid hunter. And he was telling me one time about he saw a duck flying upside down. And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, quacked up." And he was so impressed with Duck Dynasty that he opened a special house in the ghetto. He calls it the Quack House. And I understand he has a lot of friends who visit him often. And hopefully someday they can do it in daytime. Well, Rome, Governor Rome. You were only governor for a couple of weeks, because that's how long it took to brick up the 2 floors of the education building. You were so skilled, instead of lowering the building by 2 levels, you heightened it by 2 levels. When you lower it, it goes this way, and when you raise it, it goes this way. But I'm glad, because we need as much education as we can get in Louisiana. You know, I see you sitting there like you're somebody in the park. And I might be a great politician, but you're a hell of an actor. Well, no, Roma is wealthy. Got all those banks, sold them, made money. And when he got a good deal of money, his wife said to him one day that she'd like to have a diamond ring. So he bought her a ring with a big diamond and said, "Here, honey, I want you to feel something that's hard." Jay, if you don't learn how to play record at a sequence, in a few years you'll be saying, "Governor Bitter." And when that happens, you can always apply for a job as a disc jockey. In a desk school. He's pretty smart. He wears a cross symbolizing his Catholic interest, and a Star of David symbolizing the fact that he's of Jewish faith. And I think he thinks that's going to help him politically, because some Hindu I knew did the same thing. Since my vacation. I moved into a golfing community so I could play golf, and I played one time. I'm so busy, and I really mean that. I sometimes feel like going back to prison so I can rest. And because that's a letter from this lady, Alexandra, who said, I'm a Republican, and she still is. Buddy, I found out what to do with Republicans. Sleep with them. And she said, I'm a Republican, but I read the book, and I'm interested in your career, and I'd like to go and talk to you. Well, of course, I had a long list of business and a limited number that I could put on because I was in prison. And I wrote a nice letter back, and one of the form letters, and she told her I had a list, and the list was filled. She wrote back and said, I still think you ought to arrange for me to visit you, and she enclosed the picture. I looked at the picture, and I said, oh, that must be 35 years old. The picture, not her. But I'm 82 years old, and I'm broke, I'm in prison, I'll take a chance. So I wrote her back and arranged for her to come, and she showed up on Saturday morning. And spent the whole day with me in the visiting room, bought me a hamburger and a Coke, because I didn't have any money that I could show. When she got ready to leave, I said, you know, the rules are that a person can kiss his guest or wife when they arrive and when they leave. And so she said very demurely, well, if that's the rule, I just made that up. I grabbed and kissed her because it had been some time since I kissed a woman. And there were about 10 other guys in the visiting room with us, and as soon as visiting was over with and she left, and they checked us out, they went back to the unit, and I was the hero of the camp. Because here I, old man, broke in prison, kissing this beautiful young lady. And they said, he grabbed that woman and kissed the hell out of her. So, to her credit, when she got ready to leave, she said, if you don't mind, I only live 30 minutes from here. I'd like to come back and visit you. Well, that's like throwing a rubber raft at a drowning man. So she came every Saturday and Sunday, and Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving on visiting days until I got out, except one weekend when she took her children to a soccer tournament. And every visiting day she would show up at 8 o'clock, park her car, walk across the parking lot, and half of the inmates would line up at the windows and watch her walk across the parking lot. And when she got ready to leave, they did the same thing. But anyhow, while we were visiting, we really got to know each other well and decided we would continue seeing each other after I got out. And we did, and ultimately, as you know, got married. And today, by the way, is the 1st of February, and exactly 6 months from the time Eli was born. I couldn't find any other reasons to love her in that many. That child is enough. And we named him Eli, and his name is Eli Wallace Edwards. Wallace was my father's middle name. And we wanted initials EWE, like somebody else did. And Katrina is in the process of making shirts now that say EWE for governor, 20,043. So I'm going to see if I can do something different, buddy. I'll try to get somebody elected governor who's a member of the Reform Party. But I guarantee you he won't get reelected. Because as some of these legislators know, people just want pretty good government. And the reason that I was able to beat you, although you had a better record than I at the time, was because whenever I ran against you and I only save you from Rome. And it worked. Well, when I'm in a happy mood, I eat, play, and drink. When I'm in a sober mood, I worry, work, and think. But when my moods have passed and my time, when my moods have passed, when my moods are over and my times have come to pass, I hope they bury me upside down so you fellas can kiss my grits.